Good morning, Mr. Coloma. Do you know why you're in custody?
Yes, sir.
It looks like you picked up a unlawful carrying of a weapon in April of this year. You made bond on that case, and it looks like the state of Louisiana, specifically Calcasieu Parish, issued a theft of a motor vehicle, 25,000 or more warrant for your arrest.
There are two warrants, Judge.
There are two warrants for his arrest.
They told like the sheriff's office not to do something with the second warrant, but there are two warrants. Okay.
Both at a Calcasieu Parish?
Yes, Judge. It's also another theft of a motor vehicle.
So he has two theft of, oh, I remember, this is where he rented a car and didn't give it back or something like that?
No, Judge. They were stolen from two different casinos.
So you are in custody now, and Ricardo has brought you out because he wants me to set you a bond so that you can go back to Louisiana. I don't know yet. I need to know more about you. I don't just give out bonds, especially for people who are dangerous, because I like my Houston to be safe. The other thing is that I will tell you is the good news for you is that if I do deny you a bond, we have so many people coming in and out of Louisiana that we have buses probably at least once, if not twice a week, taking prisoners to and from back to Louisiana. So if I do deny you a bond, you'll probably be in Louisiana within the next 3 days anyways. Okay? But that way it saves you a bunch of money where you can use that to go pay for a lawyer in Louisiana. But let's not put the cart before the horse. Tell me about him. What other criminal history does he have,
Judge,
if any?
So he has a prior ag assault with a deadly weapon from this jurisdiction. It was dismissed because they couldn't get in contact with the claim witness, and that one it was a road rage incident involving a gun pointed at the claim witness. He also has a DV case from New Mexico. If I remember correctly, yes.
So in the ag assault, he points a weapon, does he, at someone else in the car, road rage?
Yes, Judge.
Does he fire it? Do you
No,
know?
Judge. He points it while they're on the Sanderson Parkway. CW realizes and he slows down, and then the CW tries to follow and keep up with the defendant to keep an eye on him.
The complaining witness follows him?
Because he's calling to.
He's calling the cops.
Yeah, he's calling the cops to keep.
Oh, that's so dangerous.
And Your Honor, that case, and once again, I represented Mr. Coloma on that case. The CW on that judge, I know that, once again, we briefly touched on it Friday. They could not get a hold of the CW, but the facts of the case are, the CW alleged that my client lifted a pistol and showed it. He then proceeded to chase my client for about 45 minutes through Houston until the officers were able to arrive.
Wow.
So, and there was lots of inconsistencies. His veracity as a witness was extremely in doubt, and that's ultimately why they ended up dismissing. So he didn't fire a pistol, he didn't point a pistol. Essentially, even by the CW's own words on that situation, he brandished a gun next to him in a car and then proceeded to follow this lunatic that's, threatening him with a pistol for 45 minutes. So that case was, once again, it was a very, very dubious case. The new misdemeanor charge that he has, the UCW, there is a wrinkle in that case. And I'm representing him, Mr. Coloma, on that as well, Judge. The gist is, I believe he got pulled over for a expired registration or something along those lines. And the genesis of the arrest, Judge, is that the weapon was unholstered and in plain view. And it then, after the fact, apparently came back as that the weapon was stolen. Now, but the weapon was stolen not recently, Judge. This is stolen like roughly in 2020, I think. So he bought it from a private seller, which in Texas is extremely, extremely normal. Had no idea of the provenance of the gun. There's no, even the misdemeanor court in that one doesn't believe in any kind of way that it was involved in the actual theft of the weapon. That's why we were.
How would anyone know?
Well, we were gonna. And we just had court in the misdemeanor court very recently. One of the things we were going to do was going to try to provide the information to the misdemeanor court about how he obtained the weapon. But the chief prosecutor in that court is, and I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, he's not here, but I literally just had court with him last week. There was not an issue of thinking that he was the one that actually stole the weapon, just whoever he procured it from clearly had. That's why we were going to provide whatever information we could about that. They were going to let him do a gun safety class and dismiss that case. That was the way we were going with that. And literally, I called to tell him that, and the next day he got picked up on this warrant. The stuff out of Louisiana clearly is not a crime of violence, Judge. There's not sure. I don't know the exact parameters. I don't know how one person stole 2 vehicles in Louisiana. He's your Houston resident, but that's for him and his lawyer in Louisiana to find out. But the point is, those cases are not clearly of a nature of violence. There's no threat to the community in that regard. The UCW that he's currently charged with, once again, the difference between legally and illegally carrying it is literally whether it was or wasn't not in the holster. So I don't believe that would be a threat to the community as well. We've already discussed the ag assault and after dealing with that case for over a year, how weak I believe that case was. And now New Mexico, don't know the parameters, Judge, but it was over a decade ago. My understanding is it didn't even result in a prosecution. So
What happened? What did you say happened in New Mexico, Amy?
He convicted with DV assault 2014, from 2014. I don't have a disposition on it.
my understanding is that there was a non-pros or some kind of non-prosecution. So I don't want to speak to whether it was, but it was clearly was not sufficient to even proceed with the case. As far as Mr. Coloma personally, Judge, I have here his, as the court asked me to provide, I have here his CV, which is because he was recently applying for jobs, and I even have some job offers here that he has received. But I have his CV.
It doesn't even work. Let me ask you this, Ricardo. What's his immigration status?
U.S. citizen, Judge.
Is?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a U.S. citizen. And he does speak English, but he just.
I'm just curious if he's a citizen or not.
He felt a little more comfortable like with a Spanish. But
Sure.
He's a U.S. citizen. I have his tax returns from 2023, 2024, and no, he is employed. He was just finding a different employment. That's why he was putting out his thing. Judge, he's even, as of last year, he has a certificate as a certified nursing assistant. So he's a licensed nursing assistant. He is a licensed forklift operator. He has letters from previous employers. He worked previously for a security company where he worked for 3 years. They have a letter stating that he worked for them for 3 years. He was always a good employee. I have a job offer that he was supposed to be considering now, just basically kind of a lateral move, Judge. So he is, like we talked on Friday, he's actually the sole provider for his family. His wife is here. He has a 2-month-old baby and a 1-year-old baby, for which he is the sole provider. He is a homeowner, so he owns a home here in Harris County. He has absolutely no history of absconding in any of these cases. He's always been very diligent. I've represented him now on 2 cases. He has always been extremely diligent, keeping in touch with me, staying on top of his cases. And I have absolutely no doubt that if the court were to grant him a bond, he will go to Louisiana and resolve that, because that is what he's indicated to me, and his history seems to back that up. And finally, Judge, I do have here about roughly we were able to procure 8 to 10 letters of character reference, including from friends, neighbors, people that live next to him, that have lived next to him for years. They say that he's a very good person, that he's a responsible guy, he takes care of his family. All indications, Judge, would be that Mr. Coloma is in no way a danger to the community, definitely not a flight risk. So we would implore the court to consider granting a bond so that we can get him out of here. He can go to Louisiana on his free volition, hire attorney, and take care of that case.
Just regarding the 2 warrants, counsel raised whether it'd be possible for the defendant to have even done this by himself. The 2 warrants we received from the demanding jurisdiction did say that the offense was committed with other people. One who was listed as a suspect is his wife. There were other people. The demanding jurisdiction did locate him down through surveillance, phone records, license plate. So, Judge, we would be asking for no bond.
So they have surveillance that puts him at the place.
Yes, Judge.
And Judge, not to interrupt, my apologies. This is a casino. I spoke to my client and his wife over the course of the weekend. And to the best of their knowledge, they said, yes, we definitely went to Louisiana. We were in a casino. We weren't next to any vehicles. We don't know what any of this is about. So I don't know if there was, and once again, this is for Louisiana to flesh out if and when that proceeds. But they did admit that they were in Louisiana at a casino, like obviously thousands of people do on a daily basis. And that is the extent
Yeah, but
of,
I mean, you got to know that when you're at a casino, the eyes in the sky everywhere, man. There's not a place that you can walk other than probably the bathroom. There's not a camera looking at you at all times.
he is very well aware of that. And that's why he's extremely confident that he doesn't know what's going on and that there's going to be no, I told him there's surveillance in the casinos, in the restaurants, in the halls, every parking lots. Not only is there surveillance, but it's extremely high tech, very high def. And he's like, that's why he's looking forward to go back to Louisiana, get his attorney, get this resolved, because he's like, once I see that surveillance, you're gonna see that was not related to me or any of these cars that they're alleged.
I don't know, Ricardo. I mean, I'm not, he just had that ag assault dismissed. Now he's got an open gun case. He's got a stolen gun. Now he's got 2 stolen car cases.
Just,
I
implore the court,
I'm sorry, Mr. Coloma. You got to understand that you can't just continue to pick up criminal cases and expect good things to happen. You now have over $50,000 in stolen cars. Allegedly, the person that you're with now is one of the accomplices in the case. I don't think I'm going to do it. I will tell you this, though. The good news for you is that once you waive, if you waive, we'll have you out of here within the next 3 days. The money that if I were to give you a bond now, I'm telling you, the bond I'd probably set is around 25,000, right? And you'd have to pony up that in its entirety to get out of custody. I'm telling you, that is what I would probably do. If I were to give you a bond, it would be that high. And the reason I do that is to ensure that you have a lot of blood in the game so that you actually do go back to Louisiana, right? It would be a fool's errand just to spend all that money just to get out 2 days, 3 days early when you can use that money to go hire yourself a lawyer on those 2 very serious cases over there, and as it stands now, you have a great track record with Ricardo, maybe get him to go help you out in Louisiana, but you can pro hoc over there.
horrible things about Louisiana. I think that's a very
Just get
world over there.
Yeah, but get local counsel, But you've got a great lawyer here. Save that money wasting that you would use here to go get yourselves a lawyer over there. But you have too much baggage, Mr. Coloma. And with the fact that you have a stolen gun now, that's the icing on the cake for me. I can't do it in good conscience. So, Amy, did he waive or is your refusal?
He's refused.
Okay. Sorry?
He needs to waive if he wants.
Okay, so here's the deal. You now have the opportunity to waive extradition. If you want to do that, we give Louisiana 14 days to come get you. And if they don't come get you within the 14 days, Harris County files a dismissal and you are released from custody. But like I said, we have so many people from Louisiana here that we have buses at least once a week coming to get you. So you'll be out here. Once you waive, you will be back in Louisiana probably within the next 3 days. If you refuse to waive, that's okay. That's well within your right. However, they will get a governor's warrant and that'll take around 90 days. And at that point, you will be shipped off to Louisiana. So it's your prerogative what to do. I'm not going to tell you now, or I'm not going to ask you now. I will give you the opportunity to talk about it with Mr. Pedraza, and you guys can decide what you want to do. But understand that he really has gone above and beyond the call. I don't look at how she's shaking her head. Yeah. I don't think I've seen anyone get as many letters of references as Mr. Pedraza has done. And it has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with you. Case after case after case. And now you have a stolen gun? Hell no. I'm not down with that. It's now time to pay the piper. So we will wait. You will get shipped off Louisiana to answer those charges then, good luck to you.
I may speak my mind in the back, Judge?
Hey, you killed it, okay? But understand, Mr. Pedraza,
It happens, absolutely, Judge. I appreciate you giving us the opportunity, Judge.
We keep it working like Uchi the boss. We tryna catch up like we hit us a fault. We gotta win, they tell